Hey Jacob, thank you for your amazing video. I really honestly want to thank you so much because I really understood everything even more after listening to your video. Just the way you described and explained everything was very easy for me to understand other sides to things that I didn't, other points of view that I didn't think about. So I wanted to thank you for that. That was really awesome. And also for adding the fact that patients with these intense sexual arousal paraphilic disorders can use CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, for these sexual urges in order to control them and try to have them less. So I thought that was very awesome that you added that. And then also with the conduct disorder, IED, they're impulsive and violent outburst, and they can use different types of therapies. Like ODD can use family therapy, and it starts at home with their type of therapy. And we want to avoid mislabeling these disorders because we don't want to undertreat the patients for what's going on, because that would be kind of against what our goals are. So re having a very good analysis, reanalyzing the inner symptoms as well as the outward symptoms is very important. But I wanted to bring to light this article, really more of a peer-reviewed academic journal about comorbidity of disruptive behavior disorders and intermittent explosive disorder. And so I thought it was interesting. They did a little study on aggressive behavior in children and adolescents and how they may be accounted for by several disruptive behavior disorders, including ADHD, conduct disorder, CD, oppositional defiant disorder, ODD, um, disorders, intermittent explosive disorder, IED. The comorbidity among these disorders is well known, but is not its comorbidity with IED. So they reanalyzed data with the national comorbidity studies of adolescents and adults. And from a large research, there was an adult sample that estimated the comorbidity of IED with each of these disorders and the exploration that correlates with these comorbidities. And the results were the rates of current comorbidity between IED and all of these disorders ranged from 10% to 19% in adolescents and 5 to 14% in adults. So with the odds and ratios of about 5, the onset of ADHD typically appeared before onset of IED, while onset ODD and CD were more typically appeared before that of IED in adolescents. And so about equally before and after IED in adults, but IED persisted outside the duration of the window of ADD or most cases of ODD and CD cases. So the measures of impulsive aggression severity were the highest in IED and DBD, but relatively low in DBD alone. So the measures of DBD severity and the highest with those DBD alone were basically making a conclusion alone, and those with IED and DBD, the conclusion was despite the comorbidity of IED with DBDs, and the IED can be separated from DBDs over time, and the measures of IED and of DBD. So overall, they basically made results that impulsive aggression varies with IED, while DBD behaviors vary. And basically, they based this on the clinicians that could consider their differential with a workup of impulsively aggressive children and adolescents. So basically, whenever these children have these issues and these disorders, they are usually worse when they're children and they get better as they become adults. So this study proved that that was true. So, but they need more studies on this, um, just to make sure that they aren't misdiagnosing and to make sure it's not a development into something else. And also to make it more of a solid study research for more treatment, for better treatment, and how to make them understand the differences between these symptoms, between these disorders. So thank you so much. Have a great evening.